What's going on, everybody? This week's show is a special edition 2018 World Cup Team and Beer Pairing Preview Show. That's a mouthful. BTBT is going to talk World Cup action, discuss our picks to win, and drink beer brewed in those countries. We're also going to spend a little time breaking the beers down and giving you some history behind the breweries. Now, real quick, before the crew introduces itself, the 2018 FIFA World Cup kicks off in Russia on June 14th. 32 teams from around the world will compete in a month-long tournament that concludes on July 15th. The World Cup is considered the biggest sporting competition in the world, and it's held every 4 years at a different host nation selected by the FIFA Executive Committee. For 2018, Russia is the host nation. Here are some key dates. As I mentioned, the entire tournament runs from June 14th to July 15th. The knockout stage round of 16 starts Saturday, June 30th. The knockout stage quarterfinal starts Friday, July 6th. The World Cup semifinals kick off Tuesday, July 10th. The third place match is Saturday, July 14th. Little Peter's birthday. What? 2018 World Cup final is Sunday, July 15th. Real quick, here's some Tournament 101 for those who might not know. The FIFA World Cup is played in two stages, the group stage and the knockout stage. In the group stage, each of the four teams in a group play one match against each other. 3 points for a win, 1 for a tie, nothing for a loss. After all 3 matches are played, the 2 teams with the highest point total in each group advances to the knockout stage. The knockout stage is a single elimination tournament with the remaining 16 teams. 8 teams are seated on each side of the bracket. Winners advance until only 2 remain, similar to the NCAA Final Four bracket tournaments. Now that we've squared away some of the basics, let's go around the table and have everyone introduce themselves and let us know what team you're repping.
All right, so that was a lot more than a mouthful, but hey.
That's what she said.
Hey-o. All right, so I'll be representing my homeland, which is Mexico. Mexico.
Puto!
I'll be representing Belgium, since none of my home teams, USA or Italy, made it this year.
Sad face.
And since I'm a mix of pretty much all of Europe, I could take my pick. I was going to do Serbia, but their craft beer doesn't really make it outside the country for the little there is. So I want something a little easier to find with Polish.
Nice.
Very nice. And I, no surprise, I'm going with Germany. And we're kicking off with one of 2 German beers that we just already have poured out. The Bayerische Staatsbrauerei Weihenstephan, or the Bavarian State Brewery Weihenstephan, is a German brewery located on the site of the former Weihenstephan Abbey in Freising, Bavaria. The Weihenstephan Monastery is located high above the city of Freising on the Weihenstephan Hill and overlooks a breathtaking view of the old town of Freising. You can see the upper Bavarian plateau and the distant Alps. What we have here is a Hefe Weissbier, 5.4% in alcohol, 14 IBUs. It's a wheat beer for us Americans, and wheat beer is a beer usually top fermented, which is brewed with a large proportion of wheat relative to the amount of malted barley. The 2 main varieties are Weissbier and Witbier. Some of the minor types include Lambic, Berliner Weisse, and Gose. It's a beer traditionally from Bavaria, and with that said, it's obviously brewed under the German purity laws, and we can get into that in a second, but let's all kind of give this its due and give this a taste and see what we think.
Shit,
Prost. I like this.
Yeah. Crisp.
Yeah, definitely crisp.
Very easy drinking.
Very, yeah. I find it to be one of the finest representations of the style. It's a golden yellow wheat beer, nice lacing of white foam. Definitely get some cloves and banana in there. Full-bodied, smooth yeast taste. It's very sessionable. It actually goes... it's an all-season drinker. You could drink this at any time of the year, in my opinion. Definitely. It pairs very well with fish, other seafood, spicy cheese, especially with traditional Bavarian veal sausage.
What about string cheese?
I just had some, so it's going all right.
All
It's
right.
pairing decently.
Nice.
It's pairing decently. And as I mentioned, it's brewed according to the century-old German purity laws, also known as the Reinheitsgebot, introduced in 1516 by Duke Wilhelm IV of Bavaria. The decree allows for only hops, barley, water, and later on yeast in every stein. So, gentlemen, are we digging this beer?
Definitely.
I'm loving it. So far, so good. I think a lot of the beers we're going to be having for us are going to be sessionable compared to what we normally drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be distinctly un-American today.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely, because we're a bunch of raging alcoholics, apparently.
We definitely
We're dragging the
are.
rest of the world down with us, because let me tell you, when I was in Europe, they're catching up.
Yeah?
There you go.
The craft beer
Good.
scene in several countries was starting to finally pop off.
So we won't be the
awesome.
only fat bastards everywhere.
No. It's taken off, like Perry said. I mean, it's interesting because in Germany, it's all about those sessionable beers for the most part, and you're just kind of like drinking with every meal.
Right.
And it's beer that you can just drink and pairs well with food, and you can drink it all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a beautiful thing. Now, do we want to move on to the second beer?
You've got one more, right?
yeah. If you got another
I
one.
have one more, Pete. If you want to grab that, I can set that up with an intro. So, next up, we have a Kolsch beer, and Kolsch is a beer brewed in Cologne, Germany. It's typically a clear, top-fermented beer with a bright straw yellow hue, similar to other beers brewed from mainly Pilsner malt. Kolsch is a warm, fermented at around 13 to 21 degrees Celsius, or 55 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and then conditioned by lagering at cold temperatures. A little bit of the history of the style. Cologne in the west is in the western German state of North Rhine-Westphalia, was founded as a Roman fort and trade center in 38 BC. The name translates to colony, and it's perfectly situated as a commercial hub. It hugs the heavily trafficked Rhine River, and it's an equal distance between Munich and London. When the Roman Empire fell in the 5th century, Cologne had 500 years of mercantile might under its belt, a resume that served it well into the Middle Ages. Cologne became something of a de facto capital of the Rhineland and developed a thriving brewing industry. There's some 500 monastic breweries in Central Europe, with several operating around Cologne. Hops had not yet been used as a major ingredient in beer. Brews contained mixtures of herbs called Grut. And then the monks took brewing out of the Dark Ages around between the 11th and 14th centuries, as hops began trickling into brew houses and grain crops became more consistent. And essentially, that's where this style originated. The particular beer that we are drinking is brewed by a private brewery, Heinrich Reisdorf, founded in 1894 by Heinrich Reisdorf in Cologne. It produces, again, top-fermented beer called Reisdorf Kolsch, which is a rather mellow, light aroma relative to others. There's, there's notes of vanilla. You get a little bit of marshmallow as well. Fresh, hoppy, herbal edge of pine, a little bit of hay. Body is medium, a little bit more robust than what you might expect, and the flavor is slightly sweeter. I think it finishes very soft and creamy, a little bit of bitterness there. Has a good mouthfeel. I think it's got a nice crispness to it, a little bit of a silky.
Very crisp, definitely.
Very, like a silky taste to it. It's 4.8%. It's a beer that, again, you could drink this all day.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. It seems to be a fad with the German beers, drinking it all day.
And I mean, in Kolsch, they take it next level. You go to the breweries in Cologne, and they give you like relatively small glasses, and they put it on a coaster. And if you don't put the coaster on top of the glass, as soon as it's near empty, they just whip it off and give you a brand new one.
Oh my god!
So you have to stop them, or they make you keep drinking beer.
That's not a problem, sounds like.
Oh, it's a fun time, but you got to be paying attention when you start getting in the bag.
Definitely.
Oh, we can get late quick, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Especially the size of their steins, they're huge.
Yeah, seriously. So those are my entries that I brought for Germany. And before we move on, I can just give you a little bit of my pick, a little bit of background on Germany. Germany known as the National Elf, DFB Elf, die Mannschaft. They're one of the most successful national teams in international competitions. They won a total of 4 World Cups in 54, 74, 90, 2014. They won 3 European Championships in 72, 80, and 96, and 1 Confederations Cup in 2017. The big question in this World Cup is, can they repeat? No country has ever repeated other than Brazil, which followed up their victory in 58 by lifting the trophy again in 62. This year, Brazil is also heavily favored. France, Spain, Argentina, they're all there. Little interesting side note, some political issues going on with Germany now. Obviously, we don't like to get too political, but there is a lot of influx of immigrants, and it's causing some issues there. And there's been debate over issues of integration, and there's questions over German identity. And interestingly enough, Ilkay Gundogan and I think I'm saying his name right, I'm probably butchering it, and Mesut Ozil, they're German-born players of Turkish origin, and they caused a stir back in May by posing for a photo with the Turkish president Erdogan, and they gave him a signed kit. They addressed him as Mr. President, and politicians from the far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, quickly pounced, asking why, why, if they're playing for Germany, why do they feel Turkish? So that caused a little bit of an uproar, so much in fact that in one of their last friendly games against Saudi Arabia, Gundogan was booed, and when he warmed up, he was booed when they subbed him in. He booed every time he touched the ball. And, the German football manager, Joachim Low, called the incident painful. With that said, I think the politics will be overplayed and overhyped by the media. The German squad is a team of supremely talented and dedicated professionals, and they're there to do a job. They're there to do a win. Yeah. A couple of the players missing from 2014 just got old, aged out. Philipp Lahm, Miroslav Klose, Bastian Schweinsteiger. These were all great players.
Absolutely.
I'm
sure
them.
They could still do it if they were picked. But yeah, you got all the new young blood in there.
Well, now Klose is an assistant coach with the squad, and Schweinsteiger wasn't eligible because he plays for the MLS. Boo. Mario Götze, he's hurt. He's not there. Most surprisingly, Leroy Sané is not there.
Very surprising, that one.
The guy, he was rated Young Player of the Year in the EPL and played for Man City, who were the EPL champs, and he wasn't picked. Lowe said that, he doesn't think he gets it done on the national level. I don't know about that, but he gets paid big bucks to make those big decisions. But that was certainly a surprising one. Really quick guys to look out for, I think, this year, in this cup anyway, Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, Timo Werner. These are all young kids, world-class players. Werner, they call him Turbo Timo. He's a lightning-fast striker. He scored 23 goals for RB Leipzig in the Bundesliga.
Favorite word to say in the world.
Absolutely.
Bundesliga.
And, Germany were fantastic in qualifications, 10 games, 10 wins. Past two friendlies haven't looked all that great against Saudi Arabia and I think Austria, but nevertheless, this is one of the deepest teams in the World Cup, and they are my pick to win not only their group, but also their tournament. And the schedule for Germany's group stage matches, June 17th, 5 o'clock, Germany-Mexico.
Yes. Can't wait.
June 23rd at 8 is Germany-Sweden, and June 27th at 4 is Germany versus South Korea. And that first opening game of the group leads us perfectly to our next segment here. Pete, you want to take this away?
All right. So, as you know, I'm not as big into soccer as you, probably the rest of you guys here at this table. But I am freaking rooting for Mexico to beat the hell out of you guys. But I'm sure we're going to lose 6-0 or something like that. It's fine.
Mexico's got a good team.
But there's one thing my people know how to do and do it well. They can drink.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Okay. So, obviously, it was not that easy, but not that hard to find something else. Corona's everywhere. You have Modelo, Negro and Especial. And I went with a beer that I heard a lot about when I was younger. So I was a cook for a really long time in restaurants, which means I worked with a lot of Mexican people. And all they ever bragged about was how great the beer was in Mexico and how shitty the beer is here. They pretty much compared Corona as their Budweiser. They said nobody back home really drinks it because it's, it's cheap and it's whatever. So they always raved about a beer called Victoria, but it was never available. So obviously now it is. I was able to find it at the store that I was talking about in Ridgewood. They got great selection, told you mostly Polish. So next time you let me know, we'll go that way. Yeah. So that being said, one thing I found a few things actually on Mexican beers, but something I found in LA Weekly was top 5 Mexican beers, what to drink before tequila. Just so you know, out of the top 5, they came in number 5, but they're also from LA, so what do they know? But a funny thing was that I read was the first line was, let's face it, Mexico isn't exactly a major player in the current craft beer revolution, but that doesn't mean that its long tradition of easy drinking European-style lagers is something to be overlooked, which is true. So on that note, can you pour that out for me very quickly, please? Thank you very much. So a little something about Victoria. Victoria is actually a 4% beer. It's a Vienna lager, first brewed in Toluca, Mexico in 1865. So this beer has been around for a while. Wow. It was brewed by Compañía Toluca y Mexico. You like how I break out the Mexican way?
I love it,
You like it, man? All right, so that company was actually bought out by Grupo Modelo, which obviously brews Modelo.
Right.
Also Corona. Pretty much most of the Mexican beers. Did I steal it? Here
Yes, you did.
Sorry. It's my Mexican side coming up. Or my Puerto Rican side. Pick one. All right, so Victoria is the perfect step up from all similar tasting light Mexican lagers made by Grupo Modelo, which is Mexico's largest brewery, in case you didn't know. Think Tecate, Corona, Modelo Especial, and Pacifico, which is another one I was looking at, but I didn't go with that. But like those in the Cerveza Clara style, Victoria remains crisp and refreshing, but true to its more amber color. So pretty much, it's 4%, like we were saying earlier. Like a lot of these beers are very light and sessionable. We could drink this all day and night, but I would probably choose not to. But on that note, everybody
raise a toast, and also Bethany made it. She's here as well. So cheers to you. Cheers to all you guys. Let's try this Victoria.
Nice.
Arriba Mexico.
Not bad.
Definitely not bad.
Sure.
Not bad.
Smooth, light drinking.
Yeah.
It's definitely better than Corona.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Very light tasting for its color too.
They made a newer Corona. I'm not sure if you've seen it. Remember the Familiar?
Yeah.
They came out with another one. It's supposed to be like their
Like mini jug
like their
handles.
Heineken Light,
Oh, I heard about that.
and
yeah.
it's actually extremely good.
Is it really?
Yeah,
I have not
yeah,
had it.
yeah. I drank it on the train one day. It was very nice.
Best place to enjoy a Corona.
But yeah, all I ever heard, from people from Mexico were that, this was, what they go to every day. This is all they drink when they're standing on the corner in between jobs. That's all they drink.
So thank you for contributing that. And how do you think they're going to do in this World Cup?
After they play you, that's it. It's over.
Well, they also got to play Sweden and South Korea. So
I mean, I think they have a shot. They usually, hold their own from what I remember. Like I said, I'm not the biggest soccer fan, but they do hold their own for the most part. I'm sure, Germany will be obviously coming out of that group. Who else do you think will come out of that group?
I really think Mexico can come out of that group.
Yeah?
I think Mexico is going to come out of
How
that
come?
group.
Well,
Go ahead.
I just think they're obviously the second strongest in that group, other than Germany. And then other than that, there's a lot on the line. Like there's a lot of the United States supporters that are now going towards Mexico since we're not supported there,
Right.
in the World Cup. So we got to root for them. We got.
All right.
It's
I
they
got
gotta
some
help us
Mexican
out.
fans
That's it.
behind me, baby. That's what
it.
I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
let's go
don't-
Chicharito.
I don't share that philosophy.
Listen,
But
at least we're not playing each other. At least root for them.
That's
Prick.
true.
yeah, no, I think Mexico will do it. I think Mexico is they're strong enough to make it to the round of 16. I think they beat South Korea. Although I think South Korea is going to be a little bit better than people expect, but South Korea ain't going to make it. Sweden, no Zlatan. I mean,
That's a
I don't.
problem.
That's a problem. They should have brought him back, but that's
What
another.
happened with that?
He decided to retire. He's one of the even at his age now, he's still one of the best players.
Is that my boy?
in the world? Zlatan
Ibrahimovic?
Ibrahimovic. There you
Doing
go.
awesome things in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds Yugoslavian to me.
Yeah, I mean, Mexico's best World Cup results, they made it to the quarterfinals in 70 and 86. They've got a nice attacking squad. Like you mentioned, Chicharito, Javier Hernandez playing for West Ham. And I guess Real Sociedad's Hector Moreno is probably the other big player. I mean, there's a young changing of the guard, I guess,
Right.
for Mexico. But yeah, I'm with you guys. I think they are certainly going to be making it to the next round.
Definitely.
So,
Yeah, so that's all I brought with me. I was going to try to rep another country as well, but I didn't make it home. I was going to try to get some Danish beer up in here, but
We did that the other day.
Yeah.
There you
This
go.
is
That's
true.
cool. We could.
all right,
We got the Belgium
Mike,
in the fridge.
Mr.
that
Boosa, you are up.
Yeah, let's do it. I chose Belgium. Definitely not my first choice. Definitely not the choice I'm picking for the World Cup, but I do enjoy their beers a lot. So I think I went with Belgium because of their beers. But I am definitely rooting for my number one team this year is Egypt. I really think because I'm a huge Liverpool fan, Mohamed Salah has been tearing it up on the courts. So on the field, I'm sorry, and I really think that he's gonna bring the Egyptian. I think he's really gonna bring Egypt the World Cup this year, but that's just my hopefulness. So we'll see.
Well, that would be something. That would be
That
shocking.
would definitely be a story.
That would be a
definitely
shocking result.
But in this case, Belgium, very good team as well. I didn't realize it until actually Egypt first Belgium, where they lost 3-0 in a friendly like later last week. And I realized that, wow, Belgium has a really stacked squad. They have
Super stacked.
Yeah, they have Kevin De Bruyne. If Mo Salah wasn't playing so good, he definitely would have been the EPL Player of the Year. You got Hazard, who is great on Chelsea. great player.
I think when Hazard's on and he's at he's really going at it, he's at the peak of his game, I think he's one of the best players in the world.
Definitely. And I'm not 100% sure on his age, but like, he's definitely not. He's getting older, so you got to play as hard as you can in these
He's like I think mid to later 20s.
Oh yeah. Okay. I guess a lot of these players look way older, but very true. But yeah, I'm hoping he has a breakout this season, and then you have Courtois between goals.
Yes,
so it's definitely going to be sweet. So yeah, they definitely have a stacked squad. And
Hazard's brother's on the squad too.
Yes, he is, and then you also even have Batshuayi from who was on
Michy
Chelsea.
Batshuayi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was from Chelsea, went to Borussia Dortmund, and is killing it there. The new Batman.
And they got what's his face that was on Chelsea
Oh,
before and
and
went to Man U. Lukaku.
Lukaku. Yeah. How could I forget Lukaku?
Seriously.
See, he did sustain an injury.
Show some respect to Romelu.
Exactly. He did sustain an injury last week. Hopefully he makes it in because he really needs to have a breakout season after the kind of dumpiness he had at Man United this year. He was definitely slated to have more goals than he definitely put up.
I think that also comes down to a separate conversation, but I think that comes down to Mourinho's style too.
Definitely.
Mourinho's style is definitely, win the game by a single goal,
Right.
kind of slow, methodical approach.
Right.
But
then why ruin these players? Like, right, these players are, they got to think about it before going on to something like that, like signing a deal like that. Especially even with France's Pogba. Like, I think he kind of
he's totally misused him.
Yeah, absolutely,
completely.
absolutely. So
But
hopefully we
think-
see a change.
I think Belgium's a dark horse team.
Definitely a dark horse
I think
team.
they're on the outside, but I think they're one of the teams that might, wouldn't surprise me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know maybe some people listening to this may disagree because of this, but Argentina, I don't think.
Give me the
I don't
names.
think Argentina. I don't think Argentina's going to make it very far. I don't think they're going to even make it out of their round because
Wow.
I know that's a bold
Wow.
statement to make.
Who is that is very bold.
I
Who
know.
is the guy that's like tearing it up in Italy? I forgot his name. He was tearing it up in Italy, but then he ended up banging his teammate's wife and then marrying her. And then he said that Ronaldo was better than Messi. And then basically I heard Messi was like, all right, you're out of here.
I don't know who this was, but that sounds like a crazy
He
story.
plays. I want to say he plays for Inter. He was like he had a massive amount of goals, and he's a young guy too, and he was tearing it up, and he's not on the team.
Immobile?
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, that was. I mean, he was from Napoli this year, but I don't know. I've never heard
but
that
anyway.
story, but that sounds crazy. But let's talk about these
talk
beers.
about these beers,
Absolutely.
yes.
So we'll definitely start off with a Saint Bernardus wit. It's
Yes.
a classic Belgian wit beer.
I have never had a Saint Bernardus in a can.
I-
I only had them in bottles.
Yeah, I've definitely never seen it in a can before either.
Never seen this. This is a first for me.
So
The whole world is can and raised.
that's
Yes.
it. They got the Cannon Rage. This is a small 11.2 ounce one, but it'll still do the job. It was brewed and bottled in Saint Bernard's in Watteau, Belgium. Watteau, Belgium.
I think
I
that's
could be
right.
spelling that right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds good to me.
it's a Belgian wit ale, and let's crack it open. Try it out.
All right.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Can't go wrong with a well-made Belgian.
All this soccer talk made me want to drink.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, Belgium was one of the first European nations to actually book its place in Russia. I think they only dropped like 2 points in qualification. Like we mentioned, Hazard, Mertens, Roberto Martinez is a pretty solid manager. So I think they can make some noise.
Right, and their only real competition in their group is England. So I think Belgium and England will both get out. They also are playing Panama and Tunisia.
Panama and Tunisia are not going anywhere.
No.
But I like
Sadly.
England. We don't have any English beers here, but I'm always, because I'm a big EPL fan, so I'm rooting for England to, at least get as far as they can.
Yeah, same here. You got a nice young squad with England. You got a very nice young squad with England. So
I mean, you got Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
You got
Who just
Rashford.
took the captain away from Jordan Henderson, which kind of stinks, but that's okay.
I think it was the right move.
I think it was.
But anyway,
Cheers.
back to Belgium.
Yes.
Cheers.
Yes. Let's try these.
Let's try.
Belgian wit
Let's
ale.
try this. Here's to Hazard.
Yes.
This is a lot of flavor in this.
Lukaku.
And yeah, Belgian beers usually are exploding with flavor.
Yeah. Wow. This is
This
definitely
is,
a
yeah.
change up from Germany and Mexico.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure. Wow.
Wow, this is really.
I
Well
forgot
done.
how much I like Belgian beers. After that show we did at the Monk,
Yeah,
That kind of changed my perspective on
Oh
them
no!
completely.
That's what German and Belgian beers are. What got me into craft beer
So
years and years ago.
Yeah.
So
It's
smooth.
wonderful.
Literally
But
goes
still, with
down.
so much going on and around the tongue.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. This is I think this is this is a landmark show. This might be the only show ever where we don't drink an IPA.
Well,
you're
I
right.
mean, while we're on the air.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, all bets
the
are off.
second we turn this off,
Yeah,
you know what's happening.
It's definitely this Belgian hops, like the hops from Belgium. It's definitely.
Oh, that was really nice.
Actually, more yeast focused, which is the fun part.
Mhm.
That's where you get a lot of the like little spiciness, the little bit of extra like flavors. You know?
Right, like I'm definitely tasting some cinnamon
Like he was
there.
mentioning coming from the roots. They used to be herbs, and then their yeast really got focused and forward. So even without the hops, you could do a lot before they got the hops in order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The Belgian style is it's an art form all into itself. What they do with beers, to be honest with you.
Definitely.
And you have one more Belgian beer here as well. Do you want to talk about that for a hot minute here?
Yeah, this is called Hof ten Dormel.
All right.
It's a blonde farmhouse ale. It's let's see, brewed in
Belgium?
Yeah, brewed in Belgium. That's it. But yeah,
You can see we've had one too many already.
Tildonk, Belgium. Tildonk, Belgium. I just didn't. I was 100% not prepared. But yeah, so there you go. But let's crack this one open.
Let's do it.
That bottle opener.
And that's the very cloudy one from earlier, right?
Yes.
What'd you describe it as before on the way up?
Literally, like in the bottle, looks like a magic potion. for
Yes.
sure. Just the way because it has a lot of, I guess, sugar in it. So we'll see.
Wow.
It's brewed with sugar. Yeah, very not so clear.
Yeah, I think we're moving in that direction.
Darker,
Mm-hmm.
hazier.
Yeah, not the same kind of hazy, but definitely hazy.
Yeah.
Really hazy.
Pass some of that on down.
Coming through.
Yeah, I think there's only like 5 or 6 ingredients in it.
Oh no.
Overflow.
Oh boy.
Here, you can take that one.
Spillage. So
Have to clean that up. Nice
just
and
spilled beer everywhere.
Just on the carpet.
Get the mop. Mop and bucket.
Things on your carpet, trust me.
Uh,
I've been a part of that. Get your minds out of the gutter. Come on. What's wrong
right.
with you people?
There you go. And yeah, let's. Is everyone poured up?
Yes.
Cool. That's
Wow.
yeah, definitely a lot on the nose for sure. Definitely different.
What do you guys think?
It's definitely a farmhouse ale. You can.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Reminds me of something from Transmitter.
It's got a nice amount of funk to it.
Yeah, definitely a lot of funk.
Get like the almost like I don't know how to describe it, but like a wet hay. Like
Yeah.
you know, like-
Yeah.
Common. Yep.
There you go. Goes with the farmhouse style.
yeah. This one's funky. I've never had this one before, so enjoyable.
Yeah,
I've
definitely.
I feel like I've had this brand before though. I don't know why.
Well, I'm sure in our travels we've
Yeah.
come across a farmhouse
Absolutely.
here and there.
Yeah.
But all right, very, very
Definitely
good. I
sick.
think I'm gonna move on to Perry.
All right.
Perry, just pull that mic up nice and close to you. And Perry, you want to tell us a little bit about the country you're repping and the beers that you brought today.
Well, I probably know less about soccer football than the other Pete, so I'm just
Really? Is that possible?
Yeah, ironically, I spent 2 years in Europe and watched the Euro Cup constantly for a couple months and still just went, it's really slow hockey. But it was
You're
good
not wrong.
times.
You're
I'm
not
not
You're
going to
very
say I
true.
didn't enjoy it, but yeah, it just didn't hold my attention that way. So I can't really offer much as far as
Luckily, billions of people don't agree, but continue.
as that to each their own.
Sure,
And
yeah.
obviously, there's millions. So, as far as the beer, at least, I can offer. So we're going to be drinking Tyskie Groni, which unfortunately is now part of AB InBev, along with most other beer in the world. It's been around for 400 plus years now. It's from the Tichy region in Upper Silesia. Basically, the brewery Tichy was originally a princely brewery, similar to a lot of the German breweries back in the day, because you had to have connections to be allowed to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they merged with Lech Brauerei back in '99, and they only make 2 or 3 beers. They used to only make 4 or 5 anyways. so they kind of keep it clean, do what they do. This is one of their lighter beers, easy drinking. You know, it's a drinking beer. This is pretty sure a 500 mils, so you're meant to drink a lot of it.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's top fermenting, kind of Bavarian style. You know, a lot like what you'd expect from Germany in that way, because that's all they really did back in the day. But I can say when I was in Poland, there was a lot of little craft breweries popping up. There was like crazy triple hopped IPAs, like not many.
Right.
But where they were all in.
Oh,
How
so
were
they're
they?
starting.
Fun. So
How were they? Were they good?
yeah, I actually enjoy. I remember going to one beer bar and they had only Polish beer. I want to say their menu had 30 odd beers, and at least half were IPAs, and
Wow.
the rest were the normal mix you'd expect otherwise, just because they have to dabble.
Got any
Right.
crazy Poland stories you could share? A crazy Poland story?
Not really, honestly. I mean, I had a fun time there.
Boo.
Really good. I mean, I think
USA.
it wasn't crazy,
USA.
but one of the most interesting thing was I met some people through couchsurfing, and we went out to like a local college. I don't even know, like variety show, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Which is just kind of random, and it's like 16 to drink there, so everybody's just
Oh my God.
whatever. Everybody's already drinking, right? Because it doesn't matter at that point. You're in college. But I do remember somehow we met people and met other people and ended up like watching some classic American movie from that era, like in the hallway of a dorm at one of the universities till like 4 a.m, because that's what you do on a weekend in Poland.
Why
There you
not? Why not? And
To talk soccer,
go for it.
definitely, I guess one of your main big stars is absolutely Lewandowski from Bayern Munich.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so he's definitely got a lot to prove. But at the same time, can he? It's like Messi and Ronaldo. Like, can he himself carry this whole team to out of his group stage? We'll see.
Right. There's nobody else really on the team that can even come close.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely a lot of Napoli players that are there. Napoli did really well in the Italian league this year, so I'm kind of just grouping everyone together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really follow, but besides that, no, not a lot of backup for him. Not what he's used to at Bayern. Definitely.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. I think they're the weakest of the top seeds, but I think Lewandowski, obviously he's the star. Zielinski, he's not bad. But yeah, I mean, I think Poland's one of the weakest of the top seeds. They did have historically their best finishes was third place in 74 and 82. They qualified fairly easily, and it's
Right.
decently tough group. Denmark was in it, Montenegro, Romania, but yeah, I mean, I think they're getting out of the group stage, but I don't think they're going much further than that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. I'd even be surprised if they got it out of the group stage. So
I mean, who are they in it with? They're with Colombia,
right.
Senegal, and I think Japan. So that's actually that's a tough group.
It is a tough group, but they should get out of it with like if we're comparing him to Ronaldo and Messi, where they're carrying a team for the most part. So we'll see.
How is Japan as a soccer team?
They've gotten better over the years.
Any real competition there?
Their
or-
kits are really cool. They're
It's going to be tough because Poland, I think, is better than them. Colombia is probably a little better than them.
Colombia definitely.
And you know what? Senegal, they are kind of a wild card because you don't know what version of Senegal you'll get. Senegal there's a lot of good African teams. There's a lot of good African players.
Absolutely.
They went unbeaten in qualifications, but
and
there was
Senegal has Sadio Mane.
there you go, and he's a great player.
He is a great player.
Senegal actually lost against South Africa, but that was overturned after the match's referee was barred for life for match manipulation. So then
Jesus
Senegal
Christ.
won the replay and eventually reached Russia comfortably. So there's a little bit of controversy there, but
That's crazy. I literally did not know that.
yeah, I mean, I think they're probably the best African team in the tournament. I mean, they got Koulibaly, like you said, Sadio Mane. They got Keita Balde. They got Kouyaté, Idrissa Gueye. I think I'm saying his name right. But, yeah, I mean, they got a lot of good players.
Yeah, Senegal has a chance too.
But
So what do
this
you
is
guys
about-
think about the beer? Sorry to cut you off, but before we finish it, I figure we should talk about it.
We're the only ones here paying attention to the beer. Man.
I know. It's bad.
No,
We gotta keep them in check.
I'm trying. So all right. What do you think?
Smooth, easy drinking, enjoyable. I prefer the German variety over this though.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with this. This goes down easy, and it's very sessionable.
Yeah, extremely. They've been doing this for a long time. So, what my backup was going to be Poland. We talked about that earlier, so I did a little research on them yesterday. They're the third largest distributor of beer in Europe. So, behind the UK and Germany. But the scary part is that UK and Poland together make less beer than Germany does.
Not surprising.
Definitely
Well,
not.
England is pretty small, even if it's dense. But yeah, I mean, the funny thing is you also have, Poland's been parts of Ukraine and under the communist sphere. Like its borders have changed so much.
Right.
Right. So technically, a lot of times, in modern times, it doesn't matter. But the border of what is now Poland has been nowhere near what it is now, depending on what time of the past you're talking about.
Right. Perry giving us a little history lesson. I like
All
it.
about it. Yeah, and this beer is definitely nice, like coming off the farmhouse.
It's a nice.
Goes
I
down
almost feel
goes
like
down
it
a lot smoother.
accentuates the sweetness of the last beer.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just so happened to work out perfectly. Are we ready to move on to our final
I
contender?
think we are.
I hope it's cold enough. I popped it in the fridge a little late.
All right, no problem. Bethany is here repping one of the other major favorites, but I'll let her get into that, and she's got some funky stuff for us today. So
wow.
tell us what you got here and who you're repping.
Well, okay, so I'm sort of the underachiever of the day because I don't know anything about my beer or anything about soccer. But I am wearing my Barca jersey because when I was in high school, I went to Spain and France for a couple weeks, and there happened to be a Barcelona game while we were in Barcelona.
Awesome.
I don't think I went to it,
Oh.
but I did buy a jersey. So,
Cool.
And I remember it very clearly because it was Barcelona versus Milan, and there was rioting afterwards. And
Wow.
I can't
I
remember
believe
if it was
that.
rioting because Barcelona won or rioting because they lost, but there was rioting.
Could have been either or,
Yeah, that
really.
sounds about
Right.
Right. Exactly.
I went to UConn, and that's what it was like there. I was like, well,
Shout
if
out
we
to Queens.
Win, if we win, there will be a riot because we won, and if we lose, there will be a riot because we lost.
There's pretty much always
Brace
a
yourself.
riot,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to Spanish football.
Yeah, so I mean, I was like, I was a freshman in high school at the time.
Wow.
And I'd never been to Europe before, and here we are, and we're walking around Barcelona, like, wow, look, we're in Europe, we're so cool. And they're like, watch out, though, there might be riots tonight. And we were very impressed, but also scared. So
Yeah.
Damn.
Sure.
so that's the story of my jersey, even though I don't really know anything.
I
about
respect that you came with a soccer jersey, though.
I
Thanks.
definitely do. That's
But no, I definitely respect that you rocked out with the soccer jersey. So now, tell us where you got these beers from, and tell us a little bit about them.
Okay, so these, I took the challenge of finding Brazilian beers. I basically just did it because it would be a challenge. And I
Nice.
was in Vermont for the weekend, which is where I'm from. And there's a bevy right down the street from the apartment that I just left, and they tend to have an absolutely amazing beer selection. So I figured I'd stop in there and see if they had any sort of, surprising beer. And lo and behold, they had a whole section of Brazilian beer.
Wow.
And I was
Serendipitous.
both impressed and not surprised because they're awesome. So, yeah.
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to the Bevy and Winooski. Yeah.
Winooski.
Yeah, I also tried for Argentinian beer there. They didn't have any, but still, they did have a whole
Brazilian
section
beer.
of Brazilian beer.
That's
so
lucky.
not too shabby.
Wouldn't Argentinian beer technically cost 1 billion whatever right now? Isn't it super extra hyper inflated?
I think so.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they didn't have it.
They saw the price and they went, "Oh, we didn't translate. That actually is $3."
And I was thinking, I looked up this brewery. It's called Way Beer from Brazil. I looked it up, and I can't find anything on it that's not in Portuguese. which
man.
made me think I really should have tried harder to find an Argentinian beer because I could have understood that website, but Portuguese is not my thing. So, so it's Way Beer. I got a tropical goza and one called Against the Cacao, which is
Cool.
Nice.
made apparently with orange and chocolate. So
I am excited to
So,
try
yeah,
beers
I
that
think
I've
they'll be-
never tried before.
Yeah.
So this is awesome. Thanks for coming through with that. BTBT Goons representing.
Oh yeah.
And while we pour that around, at least I can give you guys a little bit of background on Brazil, possibly the greatest footballing nation of all time. World Cup winners in 58, 62, 70, 94, 2002. Only country ever to win back-to-back World Cups. They were actually at one point in 6th place in the South American qualifying. Then they fired their coach, Dunga, who's actually a Brazilian legend in himself, a defensive legend anyway. They replaced him, and once they replaced him, they went freaking on fire. They were unbeaten after the change. They finished 10 points clear, and they are kind of Brazil is interesting because they're a balance between South American flair and like European tactical brilliance, and they're just one of the most dangerous teams, and they are kind of overdue for a World Cup, but I hope it doesn't happen this year. But yeah, tremendous amount of great players. I mean,
man.
you know,
The
up and
names
down the
can go
list.
on
Yeah,
forever.
I mean,
it's too many good ones. Coutinho, Firmino, Neymar. The list goes on.
it goes on and on and on. I mean, Marcelo. I mean, there's so many guys there. So
It's really a team to watch out for sure.
definitely, I think Brazil. I think Brazil is one of the favorites. I think Brazil is the top favorite, and then I think it's either Germany or France as far as the betting odds.
I would definitely say France. I mean, that's where my money is. Not that I want it to happen.
Smell that?
Smell that. Look at that.
There's a little smokiness in there, right?
This is
Oh, yeah.
totally up my fucking alley.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I said with conviction.
yeah.
I like it.
Wow, it's nicely carbonated too. It's
Definitely carbonated.
fizzy.
Like a soda.
Yes, it's like it is a little bit. It's a soda-esque quality to this. This is really nice.
yeah, it's it says on the can, but unfortunately in Portuguese, what is in it?
Don't we have magical Google technology? for
Yeah,
this?
right.
Yes, we do.
Good point.
Cool
I did. It was
just
on
a
Beer
little
Advocate,
bit.
so they might have some info on it. But looks like maybe pineapple, peaches or oranges.
I'm gonna go with
This
orange
looks
on that
like
one.
A passion fruit, or if we're looking at the can.
Could be a passion fruit. He thought it might be a kiwi.
We can go with both.
Might be a
passion kiwi.
pomegranate. I was thinking.
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of
Right.
the
It's a
above?
fruity beer.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
a fruity
definitely. And it says manga, which I'm guessing might be mango.
Mango.
But
Beer. That might be what those like
Heyo.
oranges are. Like,
Yeah. It's either that or Japanese anime.
I'm really hoping it's the second one.
I wonder what that tastes like.
Oh, wow.
I
The word's
should've-
coming out of hilarious.
I should have taken a picture of the label at the bevy because it.
Pineapple, passion fruit, and hits. That's not right.
Yeah, passion fruit. I could definitely tell.
Mango,
Yeah.
Maybe is.
This is tasty.
This is nice.
I like this a lot.
Good job.
Nice one.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers to Brazil.
Cheers to Brazil, indead. And we still have another.
We have one more,
We have
and,
one
and
more.
finally something with alcohol in it. You got a 6.2% one coming up.
How much alcohol was in this one?
3.8.
Oh,
Oh
wow.
my
Okay.
goodness.
Yeah, lightweights today, huh?
The goose. How do you say it? Is it goose or
Goza.
Goza.
Got it.
Goza. Greatest name for a Goza
Yeah.
we ever heard.
First episode.
Once you Goza black.
Yeah. Shout out to the first episode.
Yeah, I've
man.
definitely been drinking a couple of Goza beers lately, and they're nice. They're very nice.
There's a lot going on in them.
Yeah, it's very
I'm
lighter.
definitely-
Yeah.
It's very lighter, obviously, but still not a bad-
I'm really impressed by this Goza. This is a really good Goza.
definitely.
Very tasty.
Yeah, good for the summer for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right.
We've
so
had a lot of summer beers today.
yeah, and now we're doing but that's European drinking. European drinking's about drinking all day.
We should have done this in your little beach lot that you had next door.
Instead of a tiki chair or something.
Well, so Perry just discovered that there's actually a little blurb on here in English.
Ah.
If I'd been paying attention,
That
maybe I
tricky
would've known.
English.
After Google works so hard to fail.
It was a nice try, Google.
Good try, Google.
You got
We
two
we
of
know
the
you
three,
do
I
your
guess.
best. It says, there's no way of thinking about Brazil without remembering our beaches, the nature, and the tropical climate. With this inspiration, we've developed Tropical Goza, which carries in its recipe a mix of fruits produced locally: pineapple, passion fruit, mango, and acerola.
Nice.
Don't know about the
Google it.
Acerola.
I've never heard of that.
Google it.
Acerola.
Well, it's the
Acerola.
Same, it's the same in Portuguese and English.
All right.
So
Really?
it might not exist.
Maybe it's a Brazilian thing.
That's
Or
the
it could be a Brazilian.
Nobody.
Yeah,
that's the word of the day.
Acerola.
Acerola. What do you have? And I'll have some of that
Acerola.
Acerola. All right. So let's now move on.
So
to
that was
the-
impressive.
That was very impressive. That's actually one of the best
I'm
things I tasted
surprised.
today.
Left if you guys want
Oh,
to
stop it.
distribute it.
Go for it,
I
Perry.
distributed
Yeah.
Perry. I see
Do
you.
it. He's
I
gonna
see
distribute
you.
all over himself.
He's eye fucking the hell out of that can.
There's really more? Oh, God.
Oh wow.
Pretty cool can
It's a
too.
big-
Very
it's a big
colorful.
can.
Oh yeah.
Nice
We'll definitely get some
design,
social media with this bad boy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely the best can art, or just art in general, I think, of the
Yeah.
day, because, go ahead.
Yeah, the
Go
rest
ahead.
are
Yeah,
pretty,
top me
Yeah,
off,
pretty
buddy.
bland.
Pretty
Pretty.
bland.
Just
yeah.
like that.
There
The
you
same
go.
bird in this can.
That was...
The
true.
Pope looking guy looks like he
Yeah.
would mess you up.
Yeah.
Do you
What?
know anything about Saint Bernardus, or however you say that?
It's a great Belgian beer. I've
Yeah.
never seen it in a
Yeah.
freaking can
yeah, I've
before.
only seen it in bottles.
Only
Well, I
in
was
bottles.
actually talking about the man himself.
Oh,
I
no.
happen to know that this is like the only thing I know about it, but he is famous because he saved an entire village from the plague by telling them to drink beer instead of water. Bibe cerveciam non aquam.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, there
What a
was
wise
I went
man.
To, oh, thanks. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I totally misinterpreted that. But
Well,
That
no,
was
and
great.
you're a wise ma'am. There you go. How's
Heyo.
that? Hi-yo.
Good
But
save.
That was.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I say it, and in post, it's gonna sound seamless. But it's no. I mean, that's pretty fascinating. And honestly, at a certain points throughout history over the world, beer was safer to drink than water.
Yeah.
In many for a long time in many different places.
Was it in Belgium? Sorry.
I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say it's naturally lost the word, but it
Fucking awesome.
but it's naturally oh my gosh, sanitized.
Yeah.
Nice,
Right.
So
yeah.
you
Brewing
can boil the
process.
water.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we did the show at the Monk, we talked about table beer,
Yes.
and that's what they served in the schools for a while because it was safer to drink than the water
Yeah.
and anything else that they were offering.
No learning got done.
No, not at all. These guys were partying in like the third grade.
There you go.
I don't know, maybe that's
And they say times were rough back then.
maybe that's how they learn all the languages. They always have a permanent buzz and they're just ready to figure those words out.
It's like, drink your fucking beer before you go to bed. Make sure, Timmy,
There you go.
Thank you. This one looks nice.
It does indeed. I'm excited. And this will be our final beer. So this was
No, it won't.
final beer on air. But this was a little bit of, this is our World Cup preview show. And as I pour this, just to kind of go through it, I had Germany, Pete had Mexico, Mike really wants Egypt, but for the sake of the show had Belgium, Perry had Poland, and Bethany has Brazil. Interesting to see where all those teams land when we do a round of 16 World Cup show share, but that's another story for another day. For now, we're tasting our final beer here. This is the darkest beer of the evening.
You
Definitely.
could smell the chocolate right off the top.
You definitely smell chocolate and
I
the
smell
orange.
the orange.
Yeah,
I smell
definitely
only
some orange.
the orange is heavy.
Makes me think of Christmas. Those like chocolate covered oranges you get.
Wow.
Or even just the really thin, dark chocolate bars with the...
With the orange.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
orange inside. Yeah.
For sure. I got one of those when I was in Spain.
There you go.
Wow.
Well, I feel like we've been on like a journey today on this podcast.
All over the world, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely. My mouth feels it at least.
And that's what she said. I had to. I'm
I
sorry.
was thinking it too.
Good stuff. Cheers to that. Guys, cheers. Just cheers all around, man.
Cheers all around.
Good job.
Great.
Yeah.
Good beer.
And to the World Cup.
And to the World Cup 2018 kicking off June 14th. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.